Let's go! LSU picks up another commitment in Milke Tyler, a 3-star tight end recruit. I'll tell you what I like. And a little bit later, we weren't able to get around to doing videos for two other very fun commitments, Phillip Wright and Dilan Battle. We'll get to them in just a moment. So first things first, give Brian Kelly a lot of credit for having a vision, right? This is the third consecutive year that they have brought in these 6'4 plus tight end types of players. So obviously this all started a few years ago with Kamarion Pimpton, and then last year with Trey'Dez Green, and now LSU has brought in basically two. I could see Derek Meadows, the top 50 four-star wide receiver that they just brought in, a 6'4 tight end. I could see him potentially playing tight end, even though he is more of a receiver. Milke Tyler, however, is a little bit more of a tight end. And one thing that really stands out to me when I watch him is he takes the art of blocking very seriously, right? You're going to see in this highlight reel quite a few plays where he is blocking people into the turf. And on top of that, he actually has big-time wide receiver type of ability after the catch. You see it right there. The yak is certainly there. So if you were to just put Milke Tyler's tape up against Derek Meadows' tape, you really probably wouldn't notice that much of a difference. And Milke Tyler was more productive than Derek Meadows this past season, but we'll see what they do in their senior years. I love that right there. He drives a guy into the ground, and then he helps him up. Business as usual for Milke Tyler. So he runs good routes like quite a few of the tight end prospects. He has a basketball background as well. So really good stuff from LSU to bring him in. And Slade Nagel has really hit the ground running this year as LSU's new tight end coach. On top of that, he's going to have to be the special teams coach as well. So shout out to Slade. I give him a lot of credit. Give Jake Olson a lot of credit. Two of the newer coaches, all the new coaches up to this point have done a really good job of recruiting. So good stuff right here for LSU. And it's also very interesting that this young man's from South Carolina. So this was not the easiest recruitment. You really had to go out and get him. I like watching him. And as many of you know, my favorite position to watch on offense is tight end. Now, one big thing is this. Can he put his hand in the dirt and be that type of tight end prospect, right? You see quite a few of these clips where he's lined up as a big slot. That's something, obviously, that Kamarion Pimpton did. That's something, obviously, that Trey'Dez Green did. So, yeah, I mean, there's always an adjustment period where you're not used to doing that, but you do see it some. So, obviously, LSU, one thing I really do like in this class is it is absurdly athletic. And I know that sounds crazy. Well, no duh, these are 4-star and 5-star athletes. But no, these guys are really plus athletes. LSU is really aiming for upside. I love this lead block right here on this little trap play. So I like watching Milke Tyler. I really, really, really do. And one thing that I look for when I watch a prospect is, are there things like this that stand out? Well, this is a tight end prospect on a kickoff return, okay? How many tight end prospects do you see returning kicks? So, yes, of course, level of competition, all that stuff, but really good stuff. In terms of prospects, I do think Trey'Dez and Kamarion Pimpton are better prospects, but one thing that I feel Milke Tyler has over both of them is the yak, right? I was very, very impressed with this tackle breaking ability. So if you don't mind, guys, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and if it's in your heart's desire, please drop a donation, okay? I want to get to Dilan Battle here. Very interesting decision by LSU to get another defensive tackle. I like Dilan Battle. You know, a lot of these high school teams, you see these really light 6-man boxes, and what they decided to do was just say, hey, Dilan, go out there, win us football games. line up in that zero head-up nose, and just make plays. And that's what he consistently did. Now, the issue with the zero tech nose stuff is, well, that is a position where oftentimes the team's other offensive lineman, or the center, it's normally a smaller guy who's just smart and knows how to snap the football, right? So you have a lot of advantageous situations when you're in that zero tech nose in high school, but you also see him here in a 3-tech swim move, chase him down, trip him up, force a fumble, and a tutty the other way. Absolutely love it. Now, I want to bring up something that's very interesting about all three of the defensive tackles, Zion Williams, and then Brandon Brown, and then, of course, Dilan Battle. If you look really closely, they are mostly 3-star recruits, right? Dilan Battle is a consensus 3-star, where the other two, they have a few 4-stars. In particular, Zion Williams is actually a top 100 player on 3. So you do have some differentiation there. But I am a football nerd, right? Even outside of LSU, I love thought experiments. If this doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. Even if you're not an LSU fan, you're about to see how much coaching really matters here with Bo Davis, right? So you look Bo Davis historically as a recruiter, he's actually really, really, really good. He's brought in quite a few elite guys, but he truly has been an elite developer of talent. And in the modern day, with actually recruiting not mattering as much, or the talent of being a recruiter not mattering as much, because, well, you know, oftentimes it's going to come down to who pays the recruit the most. The development aspect, the actual coaching football aspect of being a position coach becomes more valuable in my estimation. And that's what makes Bo Davis really good, right? He's had a lot of 3-star, lower tier 4-star guys that play way above expectation. So when you look at this defensive tackle class as a whole, as you see, Dilan Battle has some real explosiveness. I love his playmaking ability. What's very interesting is none of these 3 guys are elite, right? You look at all the other positions basically that LSU has in this class. Obviously, this recruiting class has been very, very, very good. But at almost every position, LSU has a top 100 player outside of this one. And, you know, normally that doesn't look as impressive. But Bo Davis, this is the kind of guys that he's been getting. Hungry 3-stars that are willing to be molded by one of the best. So if you are one of those people out there that are wondering, hey, how much does the talent matter? How much does the scheme matter? And how much does the actual individual technique and coaching matter? This is all of that wrapped up into one. So of these 3 that are committed, you would like to think one of them is going to hit. One of them can turn into a potential future first or second rounder. So really excited here about Dilan Battle. So I started doing a Phillip Wright video last week, but I wanted to do a little bit more intel on this young man. And he's grown on me, right? This is a guy that's flipped from Michigan. This is the second Destrehan prospect that LSU has brought in for this crop to go along with Jace Thomas to safety. One thing that's a red flag at times for me is when I hear the best thing about a prospect is the 100-meter dash, right? That's what everyone is mentioning about Phillip Wright, that he is unfreaking believably fast, okay? But if I watch the tape and it backs up that you can actually play football, that is something to me. And Phillip Wright can actually play football. He breaks tackles. You'll see right here, this is one of the more ridiculous runs you'll see after the catch. That shows me he's got some bounce and some wiggle. Sure, athleticism is a big deal for me, right? It does matter. There is signal in how athletic you are, but what if it's just straight line speed, which is essentially the 100-meter dash? That is not the case with Phillip Wright. He's got some weaving ability. He's got some blocking ability as well, despite his small stature. So I like Phillip Wright, and I've also noticed Cortez Hankton has had a very interesting wide receiver plan. He's either recruiting you if you're really, really, really big, one of those 6'3" mammoths, or if you're a really small guy that is just unfreaking believably fast. That has been the MO of these last couple of recruiting classes at the wide receiver position, where historically most of the LSU wide receivers is like a mixture of both in that 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" range. So it's very interesting to see how this works out. They do have one of those types of players in Teron Francis who I think is really good. And then, of course, you have the Mammoths, Milke Tyler, and Derek Meadows committed here. So I really do like Phillip Wright. I'm always going to mostly be in on Destran guys. So there you go. Comment below, which of these three players are you the most excited about? And we'll talk to you soon, baby. We're so close to the season. It's PHL, baby. Boom! Floating in your face, some other fun videos. And tonight, we're doing grilled chicken, baby. Let's go!